I'm Vanessa. I work in healthcare, and I was interested in getting a mask for myself for when I went grocery shopping or out in the community. Before the CDC announced that we should be wearing masks, I asked Miss Jan Walker to make me a mask, and she did. I decided I needed to pull on my old sewing machine and learn how to make them myself so that I can make them for my family. This is the style of mask that Jan made me right here, and it's 8.5 by 15.5. This one has a bias, so with this particular mask, you have the option of using the elastic or using the ribbon. If you can't sew and you have to go out and you want to protect yourself something's better than nothing, get a handkerchief and 2 hair ties. Fold your handkerchief quarters in half. Put your hair tie through on both sides. Tuck this in, just like this. Tug and tug. So this is better than nothing, I'd say. Mask option 1, using Goody hair ties instead of elastic. Okay, so this is the start of the mask using the Goody hair ties. This has the elastic stitched into the mask with the filter in the middle backside. The finished product is going to be black with puppy dog rainbow print, but I didn't get to video the start of it. So the start is Jan Walker has a pattern for this that is 8.5 by 15.5. I lengthened it to 9 by 15.5 because everyone's out of elastic, and I'm using the Goody hair ties, and it was a little tight around the ears, so I went ahead and went for a little wider on the width of the mask. So I went from 8.5 to 9, and the length stayed the same. So this is 15.5 by 9 here. The interface is already ironed on. I've already sewn back the 1/4 inch stitch, and then I sewn about 2 inches here and 2 inches here to create my pocket. So this mask has the filter pocket in the middle instead of on the top side, and I'm going to stitch all the way around here so that this little hole for the filter pocket stays down. You have to pin it here. I secured it here so that I don't sew over it because it's being pulled taut to reach to the other side. And then I pin it here, and then I'm going to sew this hair tie here and here by stitching all the way across. And I'll do this on both sides. And when I flip this mask inside out through this hole, which is the filter pocket, my hair ties will be in on the inside. And so it will look like this. You have filter pocket and you have hair ties, and then I'll take you to the next step. The pocket for the filter faced up, you're gonna fold it in half and iron a crease at this point so that you can see this line. Then you're gonna fold quarterwise to the middle and iron again so that you can have a crease here, okay? These are your crease marks for your future fold. I'm using a pipe cleaner, and I'm gonna stuff it into here all the way to the very end. Now I need to push that pipe cleaner to the very end and hold it into place with some pins so that when I go to sew it, I'm not letting that pipe cleaner move because it very easily moves. So I'm gonna tuck it in and hold it in. And I'm just gonna sew a little line from here all the way across to here to make sure that that pipe cleaner stays in place. And this is gonna help create a bridge, a tighter bridge around the nose. Okay, so now this is ready to sew, and I'm gonna sew right along here. Careful not to sew your pipe cleaner because you could break your needle. Okay, so I've sewed my pipe cleaner into place, and now this is the top or the underside, the part where your face goes. This is the filter pocket. So you're gonna flip it over, see the crease, you're gonna fold, and it's okay if it's tinted up in the middle. I'm going to put a pin here to hold it into place And I'm gonna do that for each line, and then I'm gonna do the other side. So just like that, you're gonna pin here, here, and here. Okay, so I've pinned here, here, and here at 3 fold lines where I ironed, and now it's ready to be stitched right along here on either side. As I'm folding a little triangle tint here, and I'm gonna stitch right here, and this is where your chin goes, and so you get better coverage on either side. You get a nice little pocket for your chin, and with the pipe cleaner up here, you get to pinch the nose in, so you've got a good seal. If you want to add extra protection to this mask, you can insert a filter. You can use coffee filters, you can use HEPA vacuum filters, or buy filters online, or just even put an extra paper towel, whatever you want to do. You can put a filter into this pocket.
Option 2, so you can use ribbon or elastic.
This is a piece of fabric cut at 15.5 by 7.5. And after you cut it, you're gonna iron on the interface to the back side. This interface was ironed on already. And then after this piece, you're gonna fold the bottom, the shorter end, the 7.5 inch side, over by about 1/4 of an inch and iron it down. Okay, so after you've folded the ends about 1/4 inch, you're gonna zigzag stitch either end down. So zigzag stitch across here. It's already ironed on. I've already sewn back the 1/4 inch stitch, and then I sewn about 2 inches here and 2 inches here to create my pocket. Okay, so now I flipped it inside out, and so now the pretty side's on top, and I folded it about 1 inch from the filter pocket, and I ironed it down on either side. So now it looks like a giant envelope. And here, okay, so here's my pipe cleaner. I'm gonna tuck it in here and pin it down. Okay, so the pipe cleaner is in place and it's been pinned, and I'm gonna sew across here. I'm gonna sew all the way down this seam, and I'm gonna sew all the way down this seam. Okay, once you've sewn all sides here, here, and here with the pipe cleaner inserted, you're going to make sure your pocket side is faced up, fold in half, and iron a crease right at the midpoint. After that, you're going to fold in half again, or at the 1/4 mark, so that you have 1/4 mark lines. And so I have my creases. I open it up. I want to face the filter pocket face down, and this is the top half of my mask. So if you're using a pattern, I'm going to tuck it in at the next crease line, just about a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch to about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to pin that right there. I like the way it tints up right here in the middle. It actually makes it functional for the mask. So once you've pinned all of your creases, you should have 6 pins in place. And now the reason this mask is different than the other mask is because you're going to add a bias, which you can purchase or you can make. So if you're going to, okay, so if you don't have pre-purchased bias, you can make it out of the same fabric that you made your mask. And the pocket to the mask is on the upside. And I'm gonna use a 3-inch piece, and it overlaps on the back side about 1 inch, or a little bit less than 1 inch. And I've ironed it down flat so it's easy to sew from here to here. Probably about 3/4 of an inch down is where I'm going to sew, because I want to make sure that I sew past this mess here. And then I'm going to flip it over and sew the other side. Okay, so it's been stitched here and here, and now you're going to flip it over and flip it over, and you're going to iron here and here on both sides. Okay, so I've ironed my straight lines here, and I'm going to fold it in half and then fold it in half again. And this is where I'm going to stitch. Now you have the option after you stitch to run a 10-inch elastic through here, and that's your ear loop, or you can use a ribbon, or you can use sewn fabric, or you can use sewn bias. The option is endless with this style of mask. Okay, so I used a safety pin to run the elastic through. Thanks to Holly Ford, I got this elastic. I only have enough of this for about 3 more masks, and this stuff is nowhere to be found, sold out everywhere. I ran it through with this. So if you can't find elastic, I'm going to show you an option to use ribbon. But at the end of this, you're just going to tie a knot. And after you tie your knot, you're going to hide your knot inside the bias, and so you don't see it. It actually holds pretty good. Like, I pull tight from both directions. It is not going anywhere. And then I'm going to hide this knot inside of here, and I'll do that to both sides. Here's your finished product for this style of mask. You have the option of running elastic through or using ribbon to go around the back of your head. It has the optional little stitch here for the chin, and inside here it has the little pipe here for the bridge of the nose. This option over here is using the Goody hair tie. Since we have a shortage of elastic and you really can't find this anymore everywhere, if you're going to use this style of mask, you can probably only get away with using the ribbon. And if you're going to use this style of mask, the Goody hair ties work. I can't use the Goody hair ties on this style of mask unless I connect two of them together, because you need a longer length to go all the way around. So there you have it. This is your finished product. How should you put on a mask when you put on a mask, and how should you take off a mask when you take off a mask? When you put on a mask, you want to make sure you wash your hands before you bring your hands to your face. Now this mask is clean, and I'm going to place it around the bridge of my nose and snug it nice and tight. Rubber bands, loops around your ears, making sure that it's snug all the way around. Once you've done this and you've adjusted it to where you want it, you want to make sure you avoid touching your mask for the remainder of the time that you're wearing it, because once you've gone shopping and been around other people, even though you're trying to stay 6 feet away, it's almost impossible at the grocery store to do that. People are just walking past you, and so the outside of your mask is considered the dirty side. Try to avoid messing with it, adjusting it, and touching it. When it's time to take off your mask, you want to very carefully grab from the rubber band here and take it off without snapping this, because this can aerosolize particles and you can inhale them. Place your mask with the dirty side onto a paper towel or disposable item. Don't just place it on your kitchen counter. Don't just dump it in your purse, because it's gonna do this, and now dirty side is gonna touch clean side and it's contaminating your purse. So carefully put it on a disposable item. And if you're done for the day, you want to launder your mask. Remove your filter and launder it, wash it, and air dry it. I wear glasses as an added protection. If you don't wear glasses, I have used, okay, so a lot of people want to know, should I wear gloves? Should I wear gloves when I go to the grocery store? Should I wear gloves when I go to fill up my tank with gas? And no, you do not need gloves. You cannot get COVID through your skin. It does not penetrate your skin. However, if you feel more comfortable wearing gloves, you just need to make sure you know the right way to use gloves. So when you put on your gloves, it doesn't really matter putting them on part, you're not doing surgery. But when you take them off, that's the important part. And when you're using them and wearing them, it's important that you know that this is dirty. If you're wearing the gloves and digging in your purse, not a good idea. If you're wearing the gloves and touching your face, not good either. So if you're going to wear them, keep in mind that you need to wear them and then use them appropriately. You don't want to wear them and get a false sense of security. The gloves in and of itself will not protect you from COVID. It's how you use the gloves. So if you're going to go fill up your tank with gas and you don't have hand sanitizer because there's a shortage of that, but you have gloves, I mean, I wear running gloves. You can wear your winter mittens. It doesn't matter. You can touch the handle to fill up the gas station with your gloves. When you go into your car, you want to take those gloves off, and you don't want to dig your hand into here to take them off like this, because now you've just contaminated the inside where your hand is. So if you're going to take off your gloves, you want to pull from the fingers like this, and then you want to get to the other side using the same gloved hand before you take that completely off. Pull from each of the fingers on the other side. And now your hands can slide out. Notice I'm still touching the gloves with the gloves, not with my hand. And now you can dispose of these and get in your car. Now it's safe to touch your steering wheel, your keys, your anything. But a lot of people do not know how to use these, and they're walking around the grocery store touching everything, and then touching their purse, touching their face, touching their kids. That is the incorrect way to use gloves.